a short exercise, just kind of basically it's picking a target note and seeing how many different ways you can kind of get to it, or at least just kind of experimenting with different ideas and different note combinations of how you can get to your target note. The note I'm going to pick for the exercise is just that 4th fret on the 3rd string. I'm talking about the key of G, you know, that's the 3rd of the chord. It's quite often a very important note that's in a lot of licks and also in a lot of melodies as well. So we'll just kind of pick that note and then come up with a couple different ways we can play it. Do we want to add hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides to our ideas? Or do we want to leave them out to create a different sound? If you'd like to access the tabs to this lesson, go ahead and click in the link in the description below to get more info on how to access that. You can also subscribe to my email list if you want to get updates when new lessons are uploaded, as well as other things Dobro related. Thank you. Alright, so like I said before, that target note I'm going to work with for this example in this lesson is going to be that 4th fret of the 3rd string. That note is a B note. It is the 3rd of the G chord. Right? So that 4th fret of the 3rd string is played in many licks, and it'll be the target note of many melodies, as well as many ideas that you have as you're improvising. So just an example of getting to that note from coming below. I could start on that 4th string open, 2nd fret, 3rd string open, 2nd fret, up to that 4th fret. Right? So the first thing that comes to mind, how would I want to make this a little more interesting? And this could be, you know, that could very well be a basic melody where we take a lot of basic melodies. You know, you can always make a basic melody really interesting and musical. It's not always easy, but it's definitely a good exercise to try. So that's kind of what we're doing here, but we're just doing a short phrase. So the first thing I would do to make it more musical, especially playing a slide instrument, is adding a slide. So I'll probably choose to slide into that target note. Right? And a couple different things I can do there. So I can choose to hit that 2nd fret of the 3rd string again and then slide. Or I can choose not to pick that note again and just slide from that. Slight differences, but it's those little differences that'll give you more ideas, you know, more variations of what you can do. All right, and then the next thing I would do to that is I'd probably do some hammer-ons. Right? Right, so doing kind of hammer-ons, it kind of relieves your right hand a little bit from picking all those notes. But you want to be able to play it both ways. If you have to pick out all those notes to get that type of sound, you know, make sure you can do that. Right? And then you can add hammer-ons as well, like we just talked about. But one good exercise is make sure your hammer-ons are in the same rhythm as your picked notes. Right? So my hammer-ons are, you know, still just kind of those 8th notes that I played as I was picking. It can be easy to do to speed up or rush those hammer-ons. So you want to make sure everything is kind of in the same at the same tempo. Another thing I would do, just using these kind of 2 strings, is, you know, I could flip the notes around. I could maybe do pull-offs on the 3rd string and the 4th string. So 2-0, 2-0. Another thing that you might do is you might push back your target note a little bit, meaning maybe we'll hit the target note, but then we're going to play a note that maybe goes above it and then get back to that target note. Right, with some hammer-ons. Right, so my target note's still that 4th fret. I'm getting to it a little later, or we're just adding that little extra phrase after I hit that target note. You know, I kind of changed the rhythm up there a little bit. Right, so that would be the pull off. That one was open, 2nd fret, open again on that 3rd string, hammer on pull off. Then the 2nd fret of the 4th string, slide up to that 4th fret. Then I'm hitting that 3rd fret of the 2nd string, that's the higher note I'm adding to the phrase, and then back to that 4th fret. Right, so that's some different ideas that you can do. Remember, we started with just kind of doing that. So another example is, what if we're starting with notes that are higher than the target note? Something like that would work. So open on that 1st string, 2nd fret, then open on that 1st string again. Then I'm hitting that 2nd string open, and then sliding to that 4th fret of the 3rd string. Right, so what you could do with that is you could obviously do that hammer on pull off on that top string. Right, so that adds, you know, kind of a cool characteristic to it. And also easier to play faster when you get up to speed. Right, so now you're kind of putting together more of a longer musical phrase there. Hopefully that kind of gives you some ideas. Now you can do that wherever you want on the neck. You can pick just a target note, and you know, you have to know your scale around that note. In this case, I'm doing like the G major scale. I have another lesson on the G major scale as well. You can check it out. And just if you don't know the scale already, that way you have options of what notes you can choose from in that key. But yeah, pick a note. See how many different ways you can get to that note. You know, what can you do to make it more musical? One thing we didn't talk about was adding in kind of like that 1st string to some of our licks, to kind of as a drone, right? So by adding that 1st string open to my lick, you know, I get a bigger sound, more kind of like a fiddle sound. Same with that lick that goes above. Just adding that 1st string to it. Just add in whenever you see fit, right? There's no right or wrong answer of what you can do or how you get to that target note. It's all about how many different ideas can you think of to get there. That's the exercise. All right, I hope that helps out a little bit, gives you something new to work on.